Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. And welcome along to a very special evening. I love awards evenings. I love it when I've got the results here and you lot haven't. It's terrific. Distinguished guests, familiar faces, welcome to what is going to be a fantastic awards night. The 2011 Western Australian Premier's Book Awards here at the magnificent State Reception Centre, and what a beautiful venue. My name is James Lush from 720 ABC Perth, and it's a privilege to be your MC this evening. Hope you've enjoyed the drinks, the food, the jazz, and Trent White and his trio will be along a little bit later. So please give them a round of applause for what they've done so far. And I'm sure many of these shortlisted authors and guests here tonight are anxious to find out who's won, and we're not that far away from those announcements. To get things underway, ladies and gentlemen, and to present the Welcome to Country, please make welcome Mr. Barry McGuire.
Mr. Lush, thank you so much. To the Honourable Premier of Western Australia, Ms. Margaret Allen, and to the Minister, Mr. Honourable John Day. The first time I did a Welcome to Country, I stood here. It was the year that I lost my father. My dad did a lot of Welcomes to Countries, and here we are back again for the first time. To write is an amazing thing. What you writers do, you tell so many stories and you use so many words, and you're still on track with that same theme. It is amazing. It's just like an artist that paints a picture and you could see so many stories within it. It's just like you can get somebody that can stand and talk and speak on our culture. It never ends. It's an amazing thing. What we do as human beings in sharing our knowledge, in sharing things about this world that we walk in sharing about how we connect with each other is an amazing thing. And how you capture that and how you bleed that into the world is beautiful. So to the writers, congratulations. To the winners, congratulations, congratulations. But in honour of my old people, the Whadjuk people of this country, the Nyunga people, in honour of them that have walked these lands for 40,000 years, our language still lives because we are still here. This place is very special. We call this place Karkarap, meaning place of the trapdoor spider. And I have learnt the song of this place that my father passed down. I would like to share that with you in a little while, but before we get there, I'd like to bring an essence of my old people, of what they would have said in a Welcome to Country. Wanjo wanjo no ka wot ko jar neja. Ni jangan bara boja. Welcome. Welcome to my country. Neja no ka wot ko jar wadeja. Wajok boja pa. You have come to the Whadjuk lands. Pular jara no ka yakana jara ba. Jinanga jara boja pa. All this land you see. Ngai bara ngop wa. Ngop yang wot ko jara neja. Kora ye budawan. Ngara ba jara nyene jara neja. The blood that runs within my veins has been here for a long time, before, today, and tomorrow, and it will always resonate here. Ngara benjara. Wanjo, no ka nyine nyere neja. Ngal kademan ka mamun ka wal benjara no ka binapa. And as you sit here, welcome, and may my old people heal your lights, heal you as a people. And I'd like to share the Wana Regamalana song. Wana Regamalana, Boyagoda, Wanango, Boyagoda, malana wanare malana boyongora wanengo boyongora wanengo wanare malana boyongora wanengo. This is of how the spider would spread forth its web to make the gatherings here on this hill, make it good, make things one. Tomorrow, we should be as one, the more that we hold hands today. So thank you for the writers and the many things that you speak about. And thank you for this opportunity for me to come and share a little bit about my people. And welcome to Wajok country. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Barry. I have to say, every time Barry does his Welcome to Country, I always feel calmer afterwards and enlightened. Thank you very much indeed. It is my pleasure now to introduce you, ladies and gentlemen, to the stage, the Premier of Western Australia, the Honourable Colin Barnett, MLA.
Thank you, James, and good evening. And Barry, can I thank you once again? I think we should be sort of hired out as a tag team because we seem to be together quite a bit. But thank you for that welcome to country, to the Wajap Noongar lands. And as I say, probably a cliche now, is that we are so lucky to live in such a vast and beautiful land. And behind me, I guess, shining lights on a stormy night. And our land is changing, and this city behind us is going through perhaps a 1 in 100 year transformation. So maybe in the future we will not only be known for our mining and our billionaires and our bogans and our spivs, we might also be known for our artists, our dancers, our musicians and our writers. Could I acknowledge John Day, Minister for Culture and the Arts, and John Hyde, representing the state opposition. And I don't know what is going on, but to Professor Matthew Allen, Chairman of the Library Board, to Margaret Allen, the State Librarian, and to Jackie Allen, Acting Director of the Department of Culture and the Arts. Now, I don't know if there's a book to be written about what happened out at the back of 2J 30 years ago, but if there is, someone's going to have to write it. Look, this is, as you may know, the 29th year of the Premier's Book Awards in Western Australia, since established in 1982. And these awards have, over those years, recognised the outstanding writers in Western Australia, and the competition, if you like, is now open to writers from outside the state, which only adds to the strength of the awards. Many famous names, Tim Winton, Elizabeth Joly, and so many others who have been recognised, and their careers can be traced through these awards over those years. I think to write a book must be an incredibly experience. I like to write, but I don't do it very well. And I'm sure every writer has their own little idiosyncrasies. For some reason, when I write, and it's usually writing a speech, I write with red ink on yellow paper. I've got no idea why I do that, but I've been doing it for years, and maybe one day I'll write something that's actually worth publishing, but I doubt it. I think I'm going to fit into that category of the majority of writers, frustrated, unpublished, unrecognised, and deservedly so. My wife is writing a book. We may have to bring in a state law to censor it. I'm not quite sure what the content will be, and I doubt I'll get to it, but I hope she has better success than I do. The awards this year coincide with the National Year of Reading, and a very worthy program, and I congratulate the State Library for its partnership in that program, not only to make sure that particularly boys and girls can all read and do so competently, but they can also gain enjoyment and pleasure and interpretation and all that comes from that. That is so important, and I think through the State Library, through local and regional libraries, through booksellers, through the publishing industry, wherever it might be, I think that continual promotion is so important. Can I thank the judges who have had to work their way through some 600 entries, which is a great acclamation, I guess, of the way in which the library and the others and the Department of Culture and Arts have promoted and built these awards up. So that's a great compliment. I thank all of those 600 entries who have put in their nominations into the 10 categories. And I particularly in advance congratulate not only they, but those people who have been successful. Thank you for having me along tonight, and good luck.
Thank you very much indeed, Premier, and looking forward to seeing your wife's copy in the bookshops. No doubt influenced by 50 Shades of Grey. Could be. Ladies and gentlemen, obviously, not everyone can be a winner. Sorry, I know it makes your eyes water, doesn't it, just thinking about it? Not everyone can be a winner tonight, but I would like to acknowledge the contribution of each shortlisted writer to the richness and the diversity of our literary culture. And without any further delay, it gives me great pleasure to announce the winners of the 2011 Premier Books Awards. Just with regards to the protocol, there are lots of names and books to announce. If we could just wait until all the announcements are made and the winner's name is announced, then we can have a jolly good clap together, if that's okay with you. Otherwise, we sort of clap all evening and it sort of loses the value of it. First of all, the first category to be presented tonight is the Digital Narrative Award. And the shortlisted titles for the awards are as follows. Bear and Bairn, Caroline Lagrange. Machine Man, Max Barry. Nullarbor Song Cycle, David Reiter. Puri, Search for Paradise, Robin Craig Clark and Amanda Clark. Sparky the Shark, a frighteningly funny adventure, Mark Newell and Paula Mantle. And the winner of the Digital Narrative Award is Machine Man by Max Barry. Say a few words, Max.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the Premier and the people of Western Australia for funding these awards and recognising great storytelling in all its forms. In particular for creating the digital narrative category, which is about recognising good storytelling that isn't necessarily wedded to ink and paper. There are all kinds of people finding all kinds of innovative ways to tell great stories in new mediums, and I think it's wonderful that we're actually looking at this now, finding good storytelling in video games, in Twitter and Facebook and all these different forms, not necessarily just that's wedded to the old. Thank you very much.
Great start. Our next category is scripts, and the shortlist is as follows. Anytown, Helly Turner. Burning Man, Jonathan Teplitsky. Cloud Street, the screenplay, Tim Winton and Ellen Fontana. Mad Bastards, Brendan Fletcher and Dean Daly-Jones. The Good, the Bad and the Baba, Philip Dalkin. And Waltzing the Wallara, David Milroy. And the winner of the 2011 Award for Scripts is Cloud Street, the screenplay by Tim Winton and Ellen Fontana. And Tim is here. He doesn't normally do awards nights. Do you want to say a few words?
Yeah. I'd just like to pay tribute to Ellen Fontana, who wasn't just my co-writer for Cloud Street, but she was originally the producer as well. When for about a decade she was trying to make it as a feature film. She was working on an American film called 29th Street when a young Australian actor who was in the cast came up to her with a copy of a novel. He said, "Oh, this is a good book, you probably should try and make this into a film." And his name's Anthony LaPuglia, and I'd like to dedicate the prize to him, and also just to thank particularly the people at Screen Time who were very patient and very helpful with a neophyte. Thank you.
Well done, Tim. There are a few chairs here at the front if people want to come and sit down. There's plenty of room. The more the merrier. Famous authors. The next category is poetry, and the shortlist for 2011 are Armour, John Kinsella. Interference Psalms, Luke Davis. Lines for Birds, Barry Hill and John Wolseley. Surface to Air, Jaya Savage. The Argument, Tracy Ryan. The Taste of River Water, Kate Kennedy. And the winner of the 2011 Poetry Award is The Argument by Tracy Ryan. Unfortunately, Tracy can't be here tonight, but has asked Georgia Richter from Fremantle Press to accept the award on her behalf. Would you like to say a few words, Georgia?
Always like to say a few words. Tracy really regrets that she can't be here tonight and sends her apology, but it's with great delight that I'm able to accept this award on her behalf. Fremantle Press have very proudly supported the poetry career of Tracy Ryan since its beginning, and we're looking forward to her next publication, Unearthed, in July next year. I'd particularly like to thank the judges for their role in tonight's award and the Premier for his vision in continuing to support literature in Western Australia.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, our next category is the State Library of Western Australia's WA History Award, and it has the following shortlisted titles. First of all, A Garden on the Margaret, The Path to Old Bridge House, Sir Gillian Lillyman. Fremantle Port, John Dowson. Government House and Western Australian Society, 1829 to 2012, Jeremy Martins. Justice, A History of the Aboriginal Legal Service of Western Australia, Fiona Skyring. Powering Perth, A History of the East Perth Power Station, Lenore Lehman. Triumphs and Tragedies, Umbulgari, an Australian Aboriginal Community, Neville Green. I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, every single book that you're hearing about is available next door, and they all look magnificent in there. The winner of the 2011 award for WA History is Justice, A History of the Aboriginal Legal Service of Western Australia by Fiona Skyring. Fiona, you brought your fans with you, so come and have a chat. Congratulations.
Thank you very much indeed. And thank you, Mr. McGuire, for your welcome to country. Thank you, Premier, and the State Government of Western Australia for continuing to support these awards. As well, thank you to the judges and all the work that they put into reading through those 600 books. And thank you to UWA Publishing for supporting this project, and of course to the Aboriginal Legal Service of Western Australia, without whom there wouldn't be this story. Thank you very much.
We're going remarkably well. In fact, we're going a bit too well. We're speeding through because everyone's being so polite and making very short speeches. The fact is, we might get to drinks a little early, if that's okay, if we carry on at this rate. The next category, ladies and gentlemen, is non-fiction, and the shortlisted titles are 1835, The Founding of Melbourne and the Conquest of Australia, James Boyce. An Eye for Eternity, The Life of Manning Clark, Mark McKenna. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Paul Ham. Her Father's Daughter, Alice Pung. Paramedico, Around the World by Ambulance, Benjamin Gilmore. And Black Swan, A Koori Woman's Life, Eileen Harrison and Carolyn Landon. And the winner of the non-fiction category, ladies and gentlemen, is Her Father's Daughter by Alice Pung. Alice, do you want to make a 20-minute presentation?
Less than 1 minute. I'd like to thank the Premier and the State Library of Western Australia and the judges for choosing her father's daughter. It means a lot to me as a writer. 20 years ago, my book would have been considered ethnic literature, even though I was born in Australia. And winning this award makes it an Australian story. And finally, I'd like to thank my wonderful publishers at Blank Ink and my father, who survived the killing fields and who named me Alice after Alice in Wonderland, for bringing about this book. Thank you.
Very good. You see, this is the place to sit. You get awards on the front row, obviously. There's 2. Our next category is fiction, and the shortlisted titles are All That I Am, Anna Funder; Caleb's Crossing, Geraldine Brooks; 5 Bells, Gail Jones. Yes. Sorry. Foal's Bread, Gillian Mears; The Cook, Wayne Macaulay; and The Street Sweeper, Elliot Perlman. Who's it going to be? Who's your money on? And the winner is All That I Am by Anna Funder. Unfortunately, Anna is overseas. She's on a promotional engagement. So representing Anna, good old brother Hugo is here. Come on, Hugo, you can do the speech. 20 minutes is fine.
I can do something rather longer. I was going to wing it today, but then this morning by email arrived something from Anna, so I can read that for you. I am deeply thrilled and honoured to receive the West Australian Premier's Book Award for Fiction. Without in any way wishing to diminish that honour, I'm almost as thrilled by the chance this evening has given me, finally, after a lifelong of trying, to get my brother to say exactly what I want him to. Thank you for that. All That I Am is a book about many things: love and courage and betrayal and wanting to change the world. But it is also a book about love of country. My characters wanted to save Germany from disaster they saw coming long before others did. Then, when Ruth, the narrator, comes to Australia, she falls in love with this place. She finds Australia's beauty and harshness and hope. She finds Premier Barnett's bogans and billionaires. Most importantly, Ruth finds, as she puts it, a glorious country which aspires to no kind of glory. Its people aim for something both more basic and more difficult: decency. I could see it at first, she says, but now it's all around me and quite fundamental. Premier Barnett may possibly be right when he talks about this place of bogans and billionaires, but he's certainly right when he says that it is not all that we are. Celebrations of culture like tonight prove it. I am far from home right now. I've never felt more Australian in my life. Writers write in order to celebrate what it is to be alive, and part of that, for me, is what it is to be Australian. I wish I could be with you to celebrate in this glorious place on this glorious Western Australian evening. I wish to express my deep gratitude to Premier Barnett, the State Library of Western Australia, the judges and organisers. I thank you all very much and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much. It'll look good on your wall, I reckon. Lovely. Now, I love this next category. It's children's books, and the shortlisted titles are A Bus Called Heaven by Bob Graham, Archie's Letter, Martin Flanagan, illustrations by Ainsley Walters, Brother Band 1, The Outcasts by John Flanagan, An Orchard Road, Elspeth Edgar, Sam, Grace and the Shipwreck, Michelle Gillespie, illustrations by Sonia Martinez, and The Little Refugee, Anne and Suzanne Doe, illustrations by Bruce Watley. And the winner, ladies and gentlemen, is Sam, Grace and the Shipwreck, Michelle Gillespie, illustrations by Sonia Martinez. Yay, they're both here. You don't have to share it. Excellent. Brilliant. Who's going to do the talking? Oh, she is.
Well, so many people have supported this book right from the very moment that it was just an idea that I wanted to follow. What's important to me about this book is that hopefully it means that generations beyond us will be able to understand and appreciate a wonderful story that happened on our very own coast in Western Australia, and something that when I first heard about it, I didn't think many others did, and it was certainly worth sharing. So there's a few people we'd like to thank. The Premier, and thank you, of course, to the judging panel, the WA State Library, and to everybody at Fremantle Press. On a personal note from me, I'd also like to thank my mentor and also fellow children's writer Norman Jorgensen, sitting over the back there. Thank you.
Yeah, what Michelle said, and special thank you to Fremantle Press for nurturing local WA talent. It's so important, and it's just opened up the world for me. Yeah, so thanks.
Michelle and Sonia, thank you. Our next category, ladies and gentlemen, is young adults, and the shortlisted titles are Crow Country, Kate Constable; Horses for King Arthur, L.S. Lawrence; The Coming of the Whirlpool, Andrew McGuire; The Dead I Know, Scott Gardner; Only Ever Always, Penny Russon; and Whisper, Chrissy Keary. And the winner of the young adult category is Only Ever Always by Penny Russon.
I'd really like to thank the Premier and the people of Western Australia. It's an amazing honour to win any award, and Western Australia actually took care of my mother many, many years ago and nursed her when she had a broken heart. It was the furthest away she could get from Tasmania at the time. So it actually has a special place in our family folklore, and I've always been really aware of Western Australia as being a very important place on the literary scene in Australia. I think it's a really special cultural centre, and I'm just really glad to be a part of that history now. So thank you very much.
We now come, Premier, to present the People's Choice Award. The community has chosen this award by voting on the State Library's website from the shortlisted titles of the fiction category. And just to recap, the fiction shortlist was All That I Am, Anna Funder; Caleb's Crossing, Geraldine Brooks; Five Bells, Gail Jones; Foal's Bread, Gillian Mears; The Cook, Wayne Macaulay; and The Street Sweeper, Elliot Perlman. The public have spoken, ladies and gentlemen, and the winner of the People's Choice Award is All That I Am by Anna Funder. Did she write another speech? Oh, she didn't. Just the one. Okay. Well, that's good. She's going to be pleased with her night's work, I reckon. Ladies and gentlemen, we've rapidly raced through the evening and we've reached the pinnacle of the presentation tonight with the announcement of the winner of the 2011 Premier's Prize, judged to be the best overall entry. So let's just recap the winners who are in the running for the Premier's Prize. They are as follows. Machine Man by Max Barry. The Argument by Tracy Ryan. Cloud Street, the screenplay by Tim Winton and Ellen Fontana. Justice, A History of the Aboriginal Legal Service of Western Australia by Fiona Skyring. Her Father's Daughter by Alice Pung. All That I Am by Anna Funder. Sam, Grace and the Shipwreck, Michelle Gillespie, illustrations by Sonia Martinez. And Only Ever Always by Penny Russell. The winner of the 2011 Premier's Prize goes to Fiona Skyring for Justice.
Thank you very much. This is an unexpected and thrilling honour. It's just so wonderful to be granted this privilege in amongst such an illustrious cast of my fellow authors. Yes, all I can say is just thank you so much to all of the people who contributed to this. There were, I interviewed and talked with over 60 people, and their stories are in this book. The whole process was really inspiring, and it was a great privilege to me to be able to put this story into a book so that you can all read it and hopefully enjoy it. And Premier, thank you so much for awarding this book the Premier's Prize. It's, as I said, a thrilling privilege to receive this. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, good night.
Well done, Fiona. You can put a new sticker on the book. Winner. Thank you very much. And thank you, Premier, indeed, for handing out those. I'd now like to introduce, ladies and gentlemen, Margaret Allen, the CEO and State Librarian of the State Library of Western Australia, to reveal tonight's Hall of Fame inductee. Please make her welcome.
Thanks. I have a really wonderful task tonight, as James said, to induct into the Western Australian Premier's Book Awards Hall of Fame a wonderful Western Australian writer. The Hall of Fame celebrates Western Australia's literary greats, and you would have seen as you came in and enjoyed a drink next door some of the panels of previous inductees and some of the greats of Western Australian writing. People such as Catherine Susanna Pritchard, Randolph Stowe and Mary Durack, just to name a few. So it really does give me great pleasure to induct another person tonight. Our inductee for 2011 is very well known locally, nationally and internationally, has inspired many young authors and has written across a number of genres. This author's works have been adapted across screen and stage, and the author has received many prestigious awards over their writing career, including 4 Miles Franklin Awards and a Western Australian Premier's Prize. He is absolutely a much admired figure, head of Western Australian and Australian literature. a passionate advocate for the environment, and earlier this year was declared an Australian National Living Treasure. So I'm sure that he needs no further introduction, but please join me in congratulating Tim Winton in his induction. Would you like to say a few words?
Well, it's lovely. It's I don't know what to say really, but to be in the company of people like Jack Davis and Randolph Stowe and all those other kind of people who are now on boards out there, it's lovely, and I think it probably. To be able to be a writer for 30 years in a wind-blown provincial capital of a lonely state on the wrong side of the wrong country and the wrong hemisphere, and to be able to keep going, I think it says more about my culture than it says about me, and I think it shows what a vibrant reading culture we have, and I think I'm just one of the beneficiaries of it, so thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Tonight, the State Library we're releasing a new webpage which showcases Tim and the other inductees in the Western Australian Premier's Book Awards Hall of Fame. So I'd encourage you to take some time and have a look at them. It's a fabulous celebration of Western Australia's literary greats and showcases the great diversity of writing in Western Australia. So thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you very much indeed. Now, let's hear from the judges. Who makes these decisions? My pleasure to introduce the chair of the 2011 judging panel, Dr. Rose Lucas, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks very much, James. Let me just say first off, what a great privilege it's been to be part of this judging panel. It's a wonderful honour. Thank you very much, Mr. Premier. Thank you to the people of West Australia. Thank you also to the State Library of West Australia and to Doug George in particular for all his support. It's been an honour to be on the panel, and it's been an honour to work with my fellow judges, who really are a very professional, conscientious lot. And we've had some wonderful times and tough times talking about literature, reading books and talking about it. So thank you very much to those colleagues. 2011, as you probably saw from all the shortlists, brought us a very strong field in every category. Every book that you saw on those shortlists is indicative of the quality and the breadth of what's going on in Australian writing at this time. And I think it's a wonderful cause for celebration all round, and it's wonderful to be able to celebrate it in such a public forum such as tonight. So once again, fantastic. Of course, it being so strong made it particularly hard too. So that really kept us on our toes as we were reading. In terms of the judging process, just to give you a little bit of an insight into how it works, we basically work to three key criteria, I guess you could say, as we're reading through our books. Firstly, we're looking for books of excellence in terms of writing and in terms of production. We're looking for books which are engaging and of interest and accessible to a general reader. So we're not looking for, arcane books for a small readership. We're looking for books that the interested general reader would enjoy. We're also looking for books which have a content which is in some way, and of course it's going to be different depending on the category of book, books which in some way have a significance for a contemporary Australian readership. How you interpret that significance will be different each time, but something important about each of those books. So as judges, when we came to our discussions on these topics in relation to this wonderful array of books, our discussions were always lively, and they were sometimes quite robust, I think is fair to say, because of the conscientiousness of the judges, I think, and because of the different backgrounds and perspectives that we all brought to the task. So we all put in our bit, and the discussions arose around that. However, tonight we're really pleased and honoured to put forward these winners for you. They are all, I think, in their distinctive ways, very important books. Books that will be, I hope, remembered and make a difference in the landscape of Australian letters. And also, I think we also know as judges that you will enjoy them. That's one of the criteria that we did feel strongly about, that these are books that you will pick up if you're interested in reading, if you're interested in topics of interest at the moment, topical matters in Australia, that you will find these enjoyable and engaging books. So go to. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Rose. And ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you all to put your hands together for the judging panel for all the hard work that they do? I'd like to now introduce the Chair of the Library Board of Western Australia, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Matthew Allen, to give the vote of thanks.
What a wonderful evening it's been. Look, I have to pick up something that the Premier was talking about, which is that strange story about Jackie, Margaret and Matthew, the Allens. Of course, this isn't for public release yet because the secret to that story lies behind a door locked. And you know that the only way through that lock is with an Allen key. Where is IKEA when we need them? It has been a wonderful evening we've had tonight, celebrating the literary talents of this state and our nation. And as this celebration draws to a close, I would like to offer some thanks on behalf of the Library Board of Western Australia. My thanks first, through you, Mr McGuire, to the Whadjuk people on whose land we meet, and the extraordinary importance of stories we see in the Indigenous peoples of this country should tell us something about the central importance that we must always attach to stories in all of our lives. May I also thank the Premier, the Honourable Colin Barnett, for his presence here tonight and his leadership in supporting Australian writing. Judged from the periphery of the nation, there may often be similarities between Queensland and Western Australia. Thankfully, one difference is that we still have a marvellous literary award scheme, and long may it be so. Thank you, Premier. And Premier, I have a gift for you as a token of the high value that authors, publishers and all West Australians place on these awards. I trust that you will find some spare time in your busy schedule to enjoy it. My thanks also to the Honourable John Day, Minister for Culture and the Arts. John has been and continues to be a strong advocate for libraries as part of his portfolio, and we very much appreciate his support, including the provision of funds through the portfolio for these awards. I'd also like to thank the library staff and colleagues in the Department of Culture and the Arts who have organised another very successful awards program, and as we had heard earlier, nearly 600 entries, which is a record for Western Australia. The focus tonight has rightly been on the authors and illustrators of the many fine books on display. We should recognise that, given the volume and calibre of works under consideration, simply making the shortlist is an extraordinary achievement, if not quite as immediately gratifying. My congratulations to all of the authors and illustrators, both the winners and those who came so close. Virginia Woolf, one of the most pioneering writers of the last couple of hundred years, wrote in A Room of One's Own that it is in the nature of the artist to mind excessively what has been said about him. Literature is strewn with the wreckage of men who have minded beyond reason the opinions of others. But there are, of course, some people whose opinions authors ought to mind and should, if not excessively, then at least quite often remember. These others are the judges who, through long hours of reading and discussion, determined that all of the authors are worthy of recognition, all having made our culture and made it anew through their writing. May I therefore thank, on behalf of us all, the judging panel, chaired, as we have heard, by Dr. Rose Lucas, but also Dallas Bird, Professor Jan Carter, Dr. Jean Chetkovich, Miffy Farquharson, Bev Jacobson, Judy Jagger, Ken Kelso, Dr. Tama Lever, Polly Lowe, Associate Professor Robin McCarran, Dr. Sarah McQuaid, Dr. Wendy Weir, and Tahani Wesley. Judges, your opinions matter in a really important way. They reward us all because they make a connection between the business of writing and the business of reading, mediating reception and circulation through your appraisal. The State Library of Western Australia also plays an important part in fostering this connection between reading and writing. In 2012, the National Year of Reading, the Library has worked with Writing WA to present a collaborative exhibition, Write On, featuring author profiles, a selection of works from the collection, author talks and book signing events. This exhibition has showcased the wealth of writing talent in this state. We are currently hosting the exhibition Mirror, featuring stunning original collages from the children's books of the same name by renowned Australian author and illustrator Jeannie Baker. We aim through such exhibitions to promote reading, but also the creativity and expression of children and adults so they themselves see, in whatever way they might, themselves as authors. Libraries are not just a destination for literature, that dark old place where books go to gently retire on the shelves of the stack. They are, of course, its origin as well. It is most gratifying to the library that Sam, Grace and the Shipwreck, tonight's winning children's book, was based on the heritage resources held by the library, including the Bustle Diaries and the Royal Humane Society publications. It's just one example of partnerships between the library and authors who, over the years, have led to many publications as we help others, rather more skilled than librarians, to tell the West Australian story. We live in times of great change in the world of books and publishing. This year we have received many more entries for our Digital Narrative Award. You may choose to buy some of the books you have seen tonight in electronic form, and our conversations about those books will be spread through Facebook and Twitter and more, directly engaging with the authors. But while some may assume that in all this digital networking it might mean an end to the library, I beg to disagree. Its form and its features will change, have already changed, but its importance remains. The library as both a place and an idea remains fundamental to the achievement of a literate society, appreciating its past, understanding its present, and becoming what it needs to be in future. Emerson once cautioned, be a little careful about your library. Do you foresee what you will do with it? Very little, to be sure. But the real question is, what it will do with you. You come here and get books that will open your eyes and your ears and your curiosity, turn you inside out or outside in. So yes, we do need to be careful with our libraries, even as they become more distributed, more networked, more capable of hosting the discussions as our quiet reading happens elsewhere. Libraries such as the wonderful State Library of Western Australia, on whose board it has been my privilege to serve now for nearly a decade, will continue to open the eyes and ears and the curiosity of all, not just in their reading, but I hope also in their writing. Thank you so much.
Hear, hear. I have to say, as an outsider who's been here around about 8 years, I'm still staggered on a daily basis how good the libraries are here. They are magnificent. So well done to you, well done to the team, well done to all librarians, and please show your appreciation for everything that happens in this state. Thank you very much, Matthew. Ladies and gentlemen, that is almost it. There will be a wonderful photograph in just a moment for all the winners, but can I ask you all to just once again put your hands together for all the winners tonight and everyone else. The Premier will have his photograph taken with all the winners in just a moment. The State Library bookshop is set up over there, as I mentioned earlier, for you to buy the shortlisted and the winning books from this year's awards. You can also collect the Special Premier's Book Award bookmarks, which would be just handy for your current readings. You can take that home as well. Also, there is more food and drink, plenty more of that being served in the area next door. You're more than welcome to stay around for that. Please enjoy the live music as well. And can I just say, ladies and gentlemen, on this windy Monday nights, thank you very much thank you very much indeed for coming along to this special event. And we look forward to seeing you once again in 2013. Have a great night. Thank you.